Hi guys, welcome to M&D Made Simple. I'm your host, Coach Alexander. I'm so glad that you've joined me today. We're going to be looking at stakeholder accountability in monitoring and evaluation. So before I get started, as usual, I want to talk about why you should subscribe to this channel. Well, if you are new here, please do well to subscribe to this channel because you learn M&D for free. You get also to enroll in the coaching program. Of course, that comes at a fee. I've talked about this several times, but you can look at my other videos. You can also download free ebooks and most of all, become my friend. So that's why you should subscribe to this channel. So in case some of you don't know this, there's a website we have, okay? And this is what we use to deliver the videos on Udemy and also the coaching program. We are calling this the M&D Academy of Excellence. I want you to visit this website. The link is in the description below. On this website, you can also get free ebooks, okay? So please take this as an advantage to yourself. Share this link with your friends so that they can get free material on M&D. Okay, so the way this lecture is outlined, we're going to be looking at what is M&E, okay, for those who are totally new. And then we'll look at who is a stakeholder in M&D and why should they be involved. All right, I must mention that today's video may be a little short, but it will be rich in knowledge. So please watch this video from start to finish. Okay, so monitoring and evaluation. You know, this word contains two. You've got the monitoring, you've got the evaluation. So what monitoring does, it is a regular process. You're busy tracking whether your planned targets have actually been achieved. So that is what you do in monitoring. And the monitoring is done against mainly activities. Okay, so these things you see where a project officer or M&D officer go in the field, what they are doing is actually a monitoring intervention. So this is done throughout the project cycle. Now, when it comes to evaluation is actually different from monitoring. This is done once in a while, and it is done at specific times. Now, it's an in-depth assessment which is meant to establish whether the change that you wanted to see has actually been achieved. So all this talk about poverty reduction, income generation, women empowerment, for you to actually see whether this is happening, you have to do an evaluation. This is where the actual learning takes place. Unlike monitoring, evaluation is a very important part of the learning cycle, okay? And it is at this stage when you do it, you are going to use the information generated from the reports that the consultants generate to help with planning of your new project. Okay, so now in case you want to learn more about monitoring and evaluation, I have a video that talks about monitoring and evaluation. Just go to YouTube, type what is monitoring and evaluation, and you see this video. It's a short video. It explains it even better than the way I explained it. I have some colleagues like M&E Guru. I haven't watched his video, but it's a good thing that he's also adding knowledge to the field. Okay, I don't know who he is, but probably he might explain things a little better. Okay, now let's get to who a stakeholder is. All right, I've used who is a stakeholder in monitoring and evaluation for obvious reasons because I want to align this to M&D. Now, a stakeholder could be a person or a group of people, okay? But the interesting thing about this is that they are interested to know how things are going in terms of the implementation of the project. And the only way they can do this is when they are part of the process of M&E. Okay, we've got stakeholders like the government of a country, project beneficiaries, academia, especially the donors. Okay, now I must emphasize this, that when it comes to accountability, just that word accountability means holding the project implementers responsible for the success or failure of the project. So that is why the stakeholders are really and keenly interested to know how things are happening. Now, in some big projects, they will be directly involved. Okay, maybe not directly per se, but they will be part of what is known as a steering committee to help with the actual M&D of that project. So if you're an implementer of a project, it shouldn't surprise you that some of these stakeholders will ask whether your implementation has actually made a difference. They would even want to see the reports. They would want you to involve them in discussions and also in understanding the success, failures of the project. It's a very interesting move, I think, and that is also part of what we call participatory M&E. Okay, so why should stakeholders be involved in the M&E? Now, I might take a bit of time on this one. You know, the nature of projects, especially when you look around you, it could be in your countries or even when you watch the news, a lot of these projects have a lot of money and funding going into them. So the money that goes into these projects is being financed by the citizens of that country. So there's obviously a lot of talk. Why are we supporting these projects when we should actually be having this money circulating in our own countries? Okay, so the citizens, who are the taxpayers apparently, would like to see results. Okay, and there's no hard feelings about it. If you're a recipient of huge monies, you always need to remember that there is a taxpayer somewhere in this world who is paying for your funding. And if you misuse that money, that can be a big problem. So the stakeholders are holding you accountable. They are providing the checks and balances. And that actually is a good thing, because you as the implementers will pay much more attention in the way you do your day-to-day business. Okay, you won't misuse the money. You won't be buying unnecessary things, spending on unnecessary things. Now, the M&D system must be robust and airtight. Okay, what I mean here is that you need to do your homework. Ensure that the data that is being collected is actually good quality data, and you are reporting evidence that really translates to what is happening on the ground. Because another issue that stakeholders look into is the issue of trust. Can they trust what you're giving them? If they discover that you're actually cooking figures, or it may not be that you're cooking figures, you're probably just not doing it the right way, that can bring a lot of criticism, which could affect your funding. So what stakeholders are really interested in is the money. How is the money being used? Okay, trust me on this one. It's the money and the results. You hear people talking about, we want to see results, we want to see results, we want to see results. This is what they're talking about. And that is why some of you M&D officers may be tempted to write a report that is just heaven on earth. But I must warn you that if you compile a report that does not show the true picture of what is on the ground in order to please people, that can backfire in the future. So how do you get the stakeholders involved? Why should stakeholders be involved? But how do you get them involved? I haven't prepared a slide for that. And guys, for those of you who say I talk too much, please forgive me. I like talking sometimes because M&D is my I like M&D so much. Okay. You see, get them involved at every stage of the M&D process. Remember, the M&D process begins at planning. Get them involved. Involve academia. Involve government officials. Involve even the beneficiaries in the planning. Honestly speaking, I have not really seen this even in my years of work. But I think it is a good thing. Get them involved when you're actually doing the monitoring and the evaluation, because at the end of the day, these are the same people who can defend you if things go wrong. Okay? So I guess it's up to you. You may decide how you want to proceed. But this has been, like I said, a short presentation. So in case you want to write to me, please write to me. And the coaching program is still running, but I want to give you a huge disclaimer. It might be disappointing for some of you to learn that we may be, what's the word that they use, bringing the coaching program to the end. By end of this year, it might be ending, okay? But it will come in a different form starting January 2023. It will come in a different form. But whatever the case, I would still urge you to get in touch with me in case you want to receive the mentoring and the coaching from Coach Alexander. I've been your host, Coach Alexander, and see you on the other side. Bye.